Okay, so I'm just gonna start from the second part of the Gemara because I already explained the first part of the Gemara in a video before, and I'll put it as a playlist so you know what's on the quiz. Okay, I'm starting from Afilu Tema Rabbi Meir. Afilu Tema Rabbi Meir. You can even say that's Rabbi Meir. So we have we have an obvious question here. Why do we care if it's Rabbi Meir, or why are we saying, oh, it could also be Rabbi Meir if we already found that's Rabbi Yehuda? So there's two answers, or kind of two parts to the answer. One part is that even though we said it already that's Rabbi Yehuda, we had to test out all the possibilities because it could also be Rabbi Meir, we're saying. Second of all, even that part is, or that answer doesn't seem so good. The second answer is the real explanation. The Rabbi Meir is usually the Tanakama. So since Rabbi Meir is usually the Tanakama, we try to check if he's the author of the Mishnah. So we're saying that yes, even though that Rabbi Meir said, right, the Gemara brought a Mishnah, right? Rabbi Mishnah, and in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda says that Tam and Muad are chayiv with Shmir Pechusa. So now we're saying we're saying Afilu Tema Rabbi Meir. You can even say that it's Rabbi Meir. So obviously the obvious question is, how can you say that? And now the Gemara is going to answer shiny, because there's a difference between Shein Varegel, Shein and Regel, and Karen. It doesn't say Karen in the Gemara, but between. So we're saying the answer is because the Mishnah is talking about Karen. It's talking about a muad for Karen. So we're saying that Rabbi Meir has a different halacha for Shein Varegel, Shein Varegel muad. He has a different halacha. Why? Because the Torah miata b'shmirasan. Because the Torah miata makes smaller, b'shmirasan their shmira, meaning the Torah puts allows for a lower level shmira with shein v'regel, a muad for shein v'regel. How do we know this? The proof is the Amar Rabbi Eliezer, that Rabbi Eliezer said ve'amrila b'masni satana, and ve'amrila, and others say that b'masni and satana, that in the Mishnah it was taught arba dvarim. What was taught? The following: arba dvarim ha'toyim miyata. There is four things that the Torah allows for a miyata b'shmirasa, a lower level shmira. Ve'eluhein, and these are them: bar, a pit, va'esh, a fire, shein, varegel, and regel. But now it's going to go through the four and give a proof for each one. But so a proof of how the Torah says that there's a lower level shmira. Bar dichsiv, bar, because it says ki yiftach ish bar, ki yikar ish bar v'lo yichasenu. So that was the whole pasuk. Ki yiftach ish bar, when yiftach, a person opens, ish, a person, yiftach ish, a person opens, bar, a pit, or ki, when yikar, he digs, ish, a man, a person, a yikar ish, a man digs, bar, a pit, veloy, and he does not yichasenu, cover it. The rest of the pasuk says, if you look in the Torah or Hashalim on the side of the Gemara, it says then he will be chayiv. So if he digs a hole, or if he opens a hole, meaning there was a cover and then he opens it and he doesn't cover it, then he's chayiv. So chaseyu, but if he covers it, then he's pater, meaning that the only thing he has to do to be pater is cover it. Meaning it's a very simple shmira. All you have to do is cover it, and you're going to be pater. So very simple shmira. So that's how it proves. For Eish dichsi, for in the Eish it says Shalim Mishalim Hamavir Esabar. Surely should pay Shalim Mishalim. He should surely pay Hamavir, the person who lights Esabara, a fire. Now Hamavir, lights, means like a purposeful lighting. So ad the Avid, Shalim Havir Esabara, he should surely pay the person who lights a fire, Habara, a fire, end quote, ad, until the Avid he does Ke'ein Mavir, like a purposeful lighting. Meaning he's chayiv, Shalim, he should surely pay until that he actually does purposeful lighting. So what does that mean? That anything lower than purposeful lighting, he is pater. Ad de avid kain avin until he does purposeful lighting, meaning that anything lower than purposeful lighting, he is pater. Shein dichsiv, meaning that, right, the only way to be chayiv is if you purposefully do it. So that means there's a lower level shmir, because you are pater for everything. And the only way you're chayiv is if you purposefully light it. Meaning if you don't purposefully light it and you do anything else, then you're pater. So that's a lower level shmir. Shein dichsiv, shein, because it says that he consumed in a different field. Uber, he consumed his day in a field, acher, a different one. So meaning he consumed in a different field. Avid keinaber. So he has to pay. So the rest of the puzzle says that he's chayiv if he does that. Avid keinaber, until he does ke'ain like a bear, like consuming purposefully, meaning that the only way he would be similar to the aish, the only way to be chayiv is if he purposely consumes. If he does anything other than that, then he's pater. So that's the lower level shmira. Regel, because it says vishalach or vishilach and sent. So how regel and shilach connect, we're going to see after. But for now, let's just assume shilach is regel. So regel because it says vishilach. The puzzle says if you do vishilach, then you're chayiv. So ad de'avi kein vishilach. So until you do a shilach, meaning that anything that is not like a shilach, anything that is not similar to vishilach, then you're pater. Now, the obvious question that I forgot to explain before of why do we care about Eish and Bor? If they're not in our thing, why do we care? So the simple answer is context. Context matters for everything. If you right in this case, the context doesn't affect it because the context is correct. We're doing everything correct. But let's say there was a context that would change if there was context or not. Let me explain what that means. So let's say some guy says, the following statement is false. Bob likes burgers, right? If you take out the following statement is false, then it sounds like Bob likes burgers, but he doesn't like burgers. So context matters. So when a Gemara brings a proof, it brings the whole proof to show that the context does not affect their proof. So here it shows the whole context to show that the Aish and Regel and the Aish and Bor do not affect the halacha on Shein Beregel. Okay. So now back to where we were. Vitanya now it's going to explain how Uber B'Sdei Acher and Regel Uber B'Sdei Acher is Shein and Veshilach is Regel. So first we're going to explain Regel. Vitanya and it's on about Veshilach Zeh and Veshilach and Shilach Zeh HaRegel. This is a Regel. V'chein and so to who Omer, so to it says, and so to it says, Mishalchei Regel Shor V'Achamor. If somebody sends Regel, a ox, of an ox or a donkey, meaning, while this is an answer, it's still a pretty bad answer. And I honestly don't really know what the answer to this question is, right? It says, so the only answer to our question of how Regel and Veshilach are connected is because it says it in the same pasuk. So right, the pasuk says, Mishalchei Regel Hashor V'Chamor. Somebody who sends the Regel of a shor or a chamor. So since it says Mishalchei Sholach with Regel, so Sholach means Regel. Now, that's the Gemara's answer. It's not going to explain anything more. Now, but I think that's a pretty bad answer. It doesn't make sense. How Sholach, just because it's in the same pasuk, it means Regel? I'm not sure what the answer is. If I find out the answer, then I'll come back and post a small little video. But for now, we'll leave that how it is. But the Gemara's answer is that Mishalchi Regel L'Shor V'Chamor, since the pasuk says Mishalche with regel, so mishalach and regel are the same thing. So then veshilach means regel. And uber is going to do the same thing, which is a very weird answer. Uber ze and ber ze, uber ze hashein, and uber is shein. So to it says, kasher yivar haglal ad toimai. When a person consumes, or when the galal consumes, and until it is full, I'm pretty sure it means. So what does galal mean? So Rashi explains in that pasuk. In that pasuk, Rashi explains that galal is either teeth or mouth. So when the tooth or the mouth consumes until it is full. So since uber and or yivar and haglal, and which means shein, since galal and shein are in the same pasuk, then shein refers to so then yivar refers to shein. or no, ad toima means completely, not full. The reason that he's chayiv for shein and regel the avid ke'en v'shilach uber, because he did work or he did something that is similar to, or meaning that is shein and regel, or it says v'shilach and uber, which means regel and shein. So because he did something that is considered shilach and uber, and shilach and uber mean purposeful, either purposeful regel or purposeful shein. Halavid, but if he did not do that, meaning if he did not do it purposefully, then he's not chayiv, meaning anything other than doing it purposefully is patur. So that's a lower level shmira. So now Rabbi Meir fits into our Mishnah, and to the Mishnah that the Gemara brought. The Mishnah that the Gemara brought said that he's chayiv for tamim and muad, and we explained that that's talking about Karen, and we explained that for shein and regel, he actually does say patur, like our Mishnah. He says patur because for shein and regel, the Torah gives a lower level shmira. How does it give a lower level shmira? We bring a pasuk because it's only chayiv if you do uber, which is purposeful shein, or if you do veshilach, which is purposeful regel. So if you don't do it on purpose, then you're patur. So that's a lower level shmira for shein and regel. So Rabbi Meir gives a lower, he gives a more lenient approach for shein and regel, because those two would be patur in any other case. So yeah, that's it.